This is the final video of the Excel Unit B, which we're going to be talking about rounding a value with a function, and we're going to be looking at the information that's on pages Excel 40 and 41. The more you explore features and tools in Excel, the more ways you'll find to simplify your work and convey information more efficiently. For example, cells containing financial data are often easier to read if they contain fewer decimals than those that appear by default. And if we take a look here, all of this is technically money that we're looking at. But notice in parts of it, it's a little bit harder to read because typically in money, we understand that we have two places past the decimal, which sometimes we have that, sometimes we don't, sometimes we have one, sometimes we have three on there. And this is where we want to make sure that we can reduce down the number of decimals. And we can achieve this by using the rounding function to round down or up your results in your worksheet. So to do this, let's take a look at cell B14. So here we have B and down here to 14. Notice that this has 3 digits past the decimal, which is not a financial way of writing this amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this formula ever so slightly. And to do this, we're going to go up to our formula bar and click just to the right of the equal sign. And of course, you want to make sure that you position the function at the beginning of this formula before any values or the arguments. And to use the rounding function, we're going to start typing in round. So type in R, O, and of course, autocomplete is going to display a listing of functions beginning with round. And of course, you can continue typing, and of course, notice that the list gets smaller and smaller as we get there. So I'm just going to go ahead and type this in. You could also double click the word round in the autocomplete list. And of course now the new function and the operating parentheses are added to the formula, and which it should look roughly like this. A few additional modifications are needed to complete your edit of the formula. And first of all, you need to indicate the number of digits to which the function should round the numbers down. And you also need to add a closing parenthesis around the set of arguments that come after the round function. And to do this, the first thing we're going to do is hit our end key, and that's going to take us to the end of this formula. Next, we're going to type in comma 0, and then we're going to do close our parenthesis. Once we have that, we're going to click on the enter button and take a look at the result. We did have 3 places past the decimal, but now we have no places past the decimal, because the comma separates the argument within the formula, and the 0 that we typed in on here indicates that you do not want any decimals to appear in the calculated value. When you complete the edit, the parentheses at either end of the formula briefly become bold, indicating that the formula has the correct number of open and closed parentheses and is balanced. So if we would want to change this, we can take a look just to see what happens if we took out the 0 and typed in a 2. If we hit our enter, notice there are 2 places past the decimal. However, we want to keep that back at 0. So that just shows you what that comma 0 means on there. The next step is step 5, and it tells us that we're going to click on the fill handle of cell B14, and we're going to drag this all the way over to cell E14. And now notice that the round function has been applied to all of these cells that we've copied it. The last step on there is the next step is step 6, and it tells us that you want to click down on cell A25 and you want to type in your name. Once you do that, just press your enter key, and then you want to save your work, and now you are ready to upload this to Course Sites. Now, of course, remember as well, if you take a look at the information on page 41, you can actually create a new workbook using a template. And of course, remember that templates are the pre-designed files that are there for you. To get a template, typically when you open up Excel, and I'll just go ahead and close this down because we are finished with this file. And when you open up Excel, it will open up in a blank workbook on there. To get a template, you can click on the Office button up here, go to New, and then you notice that here are some of the templates that are there. You can go into the Install Templates, or the My Templates, which shows you some of the different templates that are available for you there. Or you can take a look at the Microsoft Office Online. So you can take a look at some labels, letterheads, memos, lots of different things that you can choose from, charts and diagrams on there. So just remember that, before you make a Excel spreadsheet, you may want to check out the templates to see if there's already been one created for you. And that concludes all the information for the Excel Unit B. You are ready now to move on to the other assignments, so make sure that you do upload your file for your walkthrough to the core sites, and you now may move on to the next assignment.